Welcome back to the show. Now we're going to fly over to Western Australia, and we're joined by Charles Tarbey from Century 21 with all the numbers. Welcome, Charles.
Hi Chris, how are you doing?
Very good. Have you seen I found a financial planner that loves property? What a unique find.
I did see that. I was still stuck back on the insurance for testicular cancer. That sort of caught me. I haven't gotten over that one yet, mate. So.
And you probably missed our models as well, as Tom was talking about, didn't you?
No, I saw that ad. I actually saw that ad live. The young agent showed it to me himself before it went live. I saw him at conference last week in Brisbane, and he's actually quite a dynamic young guy. But I just asked him one important question: how did his vendor feel about what was happening? And he said his seller is ecstatic, and so too are their friends. So I guess at the end of the day, if you're getting a result for your seller, albeit in a different way, then that's what your job is.
Exactly, keep your clients happy. So what's happening to auction clearance rates, and how's life in Western Australia?
Yeah, it's all pretty good. Look, Western Australia's been steady in the auction arena. It hasn't really been as dynamic as the other states, but overall there was a 71.5% clearance rate when you look at all capital cities. The most impressive one, Sydney, 79.6%, followed by Melbourne at 72.1%, and Adelaide, again, 3 weeks in a row, 64.1%. It's had a surge, but so too has Canberra. It's sort of sat in the 67% range as well. Now, all of this, when you look at the average, is well over this time last year, which was a 54% clearance rate on the same sort of weekend, Chris.
Now, at the Sky Studio in Macquarie Park here, we've got all election signs absolutely everywhere, so it's all heating up for tomorrow. What's your prediction on how things are going to go in the next week after that?
Yeah, I think, of course, over tomorrow's auction all across the capital cities, they'll be a lot lower, but I don't think the clearance rates will change. I think what is there will still have the same level of attention that it's had for a period of time. And then, you know, the sellers, it's subject to who wins tomorrow, the sellers are going to start deciding whether they feel comfortable about the market well enough to start going to it, because they certainly haven't felt that way for some time. A lot of sellers have been saying that they are not thinking of selling because they think it's the wrong time. So let's see what happens after the election, Chris.
Well, we'll have a look at your homes advertised for sale, because SQM research came out, Louis Christopher, during the week, and I think he was saying it was up about 9% on some of his numbers. I'm not sure exactly what numbers they were.
No, I don't know that I could say that. I'd like to, but our numbers are coming direct from our organisation and a consolidation with RP Data, and we're still showing a negative of 0.35%. Last week was a negative of 0.53%, and it's been a negative trend all the way through for the last 5 or 6 weeks that we've been reporting. So that really hasn't hit home yet. I'm sure, will be coming on the market, but right at this point in time, that's not the case from our stats.
Okay. No worries. And then we get on to the rent price movement.
Yeah, well, look, you know, Sydney's sitting at 12.45% increase since January last year. Melbourne's at 7.32%. And Perth, good old dynamic Perth, it's 17.84%. Now, Perth has been sitting in the 17s and 16s for a fair while now, starting to stabilise. The increase this week is lower than last week, so there was a downward movement in that area. But overall, across those three capital cities, we had a 12.54% increase in rental income since January last year. So the signs are still positive, but not as dynamic as they have been in the past.
Now, certainly the vacancy rate has bounced around a bit. What's that graph looking like now?
Yeah, and that's reflecting in that rent movement too, Chris. A lot more first-time buyers have hit the Perth capital city. They've increased the grant, the change, or the levels in the grant and the stamp duty, so there's a lot more people out there buying around the traps. But the actual vacancy rate in Sydney was 3.34% for the week. Now, that's up slightly, but interestingly, Melbourne was 2.28%. That's down. But Perth has been climbing again the last few weeks, sitting at 3.93% vacancy rate as at this morning, so giving a total across those three capital cities of 3.18%. So it should be interesting in the next few weeks to see what happens.
Exactly. I'm on a plane on Saturday, but it'll be interesting to come back next week and see what happens. Thanks for joining us, Charles.
I'm on a plane too. I'm on a plane too, Chris. Thank you, mate.
We'll welcome you back in the studio. We've been missing you for 2 weeks, but enjoy Western Australia.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks for joining us at home this evening. Until next week, I'm Chris Gray. Good night.